There we go. Hi everybody, good evening. This is Keith Everett, and I have a wonderful team with me here tonight, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about how to get those ideas, those ideas to create blog posts and videos, because let's be honest, it's one of the things which stop a lot of people from actually producing content. And content, as we know, is one of the things that really does drive the internet. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce the team below. So guys, if you can just say hello and just tell the panel, the audience rather, who you are. Let's start with Paul Ingram.
Yeah, hi guys, it's Paul Ingram here. Really glad you invited me here, so I'm really grateful for that, and hopefully I'm looking for some good content to receive from you guys, but also add in a bit of my own as well. So thanks again for inviting me onto this hangout. I'm really looking forward to it.
Excellent, excellent. Kish?
Hi Kish, it's Kish here. I'm glad to be part of this hangout and hope to learn quite a lot of stuff and hope to share some stuff as well with the rest of the team.
Thanks, Kish. Next to Kish is Mike Warren.
Hi everyone, hi guys. Yeah, good to be on the hangout. Looking forward to the information being shared this evening. I think it's going to really help some people, and yeah, good to be here.
Excellent. Next to Mike is Frank.
Hi
Francisco.
guys. Hi guys. Francisco Linares. And today, yes, and today just looking forward, to for everyone's tips. And I want to share my tips with everyone too, and I think it's going to be a great hangout tonight.
Excellent, excellent. And next to Francisco is Dave Braithwaite. Hi, Dave.
Hi guys, Dave Braithwaite here. It's great to be on the hangout tonight. I was expecting Bill to be next in the lineup. That's where I'm looking from. But yeah, it's going to be some great tips on here, and hopefully we're going to have some fun and share some great ideas and help the people out there that are viewing this hangout.
Excellent, excellent. And next to Dave is Bill.
Hey guys, happy to be here, sharing my tips with you, all the way from Edinburgh in Scotland. Yeah, I've got a few tips written down and ready to share, and no doubt I'm going to get some cracking content and great tips back for the panel here myself. So yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Excellent, excellent. So let's just go straight into it. Now, why do we need ideas in the first place? I mean, why do we actually need to create content in the first place? Well, we're all online marketers, and with being an online marketer, you can't just send people straight to the sales page, okay? That's the wrong thing to do. What you need to do is you need to warm up your audience, warm up your traffic, and you need to form a bridge between your traffic and the sales page of your offer. And you do that by creating content. Now, you can do it by many ways, but what we're going to talk about tonight is blogging content and video content. Now, I've been doing both of these for the last 4 years, and it's really helped my business to move on. Mainly because the more that you get yourself out there and the more useful content that you supply to people, the more people tend to know, like, and trust you, and actually will end up joining your company or buying your products from you. So that's why we do it. And the internet itself is really just a huge, great library of libraries. It's awash with content, and a lot of people don't actually ever get around to creating content. But to be in the driving seat on the internet, you really do need to create content. So I'm going to run through 4 very simple ideas, and then I'm going to hand it over to these members of the panel here who have got great ideas of their own. Okay, now before we get started, if for any reason I start talking about income, it's not typical. Okay, there is a link below this video, and if you click that link, you'll see that a typical sort of income. So what I talk about will not be typical. Also down there, of course, is the comments. So we'd love you to take part and leave a comment, or if you want to ask any questions, feel free. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly share the screen with you. So just bear with me, because it normally takes ages when I do it. Okay, can you guys see that screen all right?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, your screen, yeah.
Okay, the first idea, which is really, really simple, but it's aimed at people that kind of don't know what to blog about, okay? So we're going to start with the raw beginner. Now, if you don't know what to blog about, all you do is come up to Google and simply type in what to blog about. Doesn't get any easier than that. I told you it's going to be simple. Now, if you just type, absolutely. So we've got to start somewhere. So, what to blog about? Okay. Now you've got a whole load of subjects here that you can find and you can use for information to blog. So you can see here 50 things to blog about. You know, there's a ton of stuff down here. So if you get stuck, that's the first place to come. Now, if you do know what to blog about, all right. So let's say, for instance, you are in the let's say you're in the weight loss niche. Okay. Well, what you can do is quite simply type in articles, weight loss. And what that will do is so that's it. What that will actually do is that will bring up a whole load of weight loss articles, okay? So again, these are all blogs dealing in weight loss. They're all articles you can use. Now, when I say use them, obviously don't copy them, okay? Really all you need to do is just use them as material, base material for your articles. So, you know, just pick on any sort of one of these blogs. Maybe I shouldn't click on these links because they're taking so long to come up, but so there's a ton of material here for you to use, okay? When that decides to come up. Okay, so I think you get the general idea. So use other people's blogs to get information that you can model.
Looks like we've lost Keith.
Oh, have we lost Keith?
We?
I was going to say,
Yeah.
this happens when you do screen sharing.
The technical gremlins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Try carry on.
Do you want to
Paul, do you
go
want to
ahead,
chip in?
Paul?
Yeah, I can step in.
I'll message
Right.
Keith.
Cool. I'm sure he's joining any minute now. So one of the some of the ways that I go about finding my content is that I actually look at what's trending, and there's various ways that you can go in and find out what's trending. The good old favourite tool is Google. So Google, you can have a look at Google Trends. So anybody want to kind of see what's going on. Just do a search in Google for Google Trends, and that tells you what's going on. Also, a good, very close friend with Google is YouTube. And whenever you go onto YouTube, you can see what videos are ranking high there. So it all depends on kind of if you just want to kind of quickly jump on a trend and kind of ride that trend, or whether you are actually trying to get into your niche. Because a lot of people, just to kind of bring people over quickly, they will ride a trend for a little while. And the thing with trends is they ride, but they're quickly over with, and then the next day there could be something else, and so on.
Yeah.
And a good old favourite of mine is hashtagging. So, for example, using Facebook, if there's something big going on in the news or the media, or you see something happening, you can use hashtags on Facebook, and then you can bring up. You'll see that people are talking about the same topic there as well. So by all means, jump onto that trend as well and start writing things and putting hashtags as well in your Facebook as well. And obviously, you've got a link that's going back to your blog where you're going to be providing more content, or a link going back to your video where you're going to be providing more content about that topic. Are you back with us, Keith?
I am. That was a good start, wasn't it? First ever live broadcast out here on, you know, and we went down. So not a problem. Thanks very much for filling in, Paul.
No problems.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about really kind of using, you know, blogs to get your seed material for your blog post. I mean, it's something I've done for a long time, and I also use blog post ideas to create videos as well. All right, it's just something that I've done a lot of, and so that really kind of covers that. Another site I use, I'm not going to risk actually sharing the screen here, but another site that I use an awful lot is alltop.com. That's ALLTOP.com, and with that particular site, it has tons and tons of blogs feeding into it, and you will see the last 5 posts of a huge amount of blogs. So for instance, if I typed in weight loss into that particular site, it would bring up between 60 and 70 blogs with 5 blog posts each. So that would give me the base material for about 350 days. So you can see, really, you can never run out of ideas, ever. Has anyone got any questions on that before I go on?
What was that site again you said?
Alltop.com, A-double-L.
Alltop.com.
Alltop.com. Perhaps someone can put it in the comments. That would be great. Perhaps I could put it in the comments. Okay. Right. One way that I have really found where you can, you know, is really good material for videos and blog posts is by using books. Now, I don't know if a lot of people do this or not, but look, here's a book, right? And most of you have got plenty of these at home. This particular book has got 12 chapters in it. I think it's actually got more than that. Sorry, it's got 24 chapters in this book. So here's what I do. It's really simple, right? What I do is I'll go to the first chapter. You see the first chapter here? That's called the Great Deception. So what I'll do is I'll read the first chapter, and I'm going to start building the title of my video or blog post around the Great Deception. So that's going to be my topic. And then within that blog post, within that chapter, I'm going to find 3 subtopics. So in other words, in this particular book, the subtopics I would choose would be this one: Get Rich Slow is a losing game. Reinvent retirement to include youth. And Wealth Young, is it BS? Right? I nearly said the word there. So here's what I do, right? On a text docket, I'll just write down those 3 subtopics, all right, from that chapter. And then what I do is I use that as the structure for the blog post. Now, once I've created the blog post, obviously you add your images to it and you SEO it. But then what I do is I create a video from the blog post. So in other words, if you're not sure how to construct a video, what you could do is just do the blog post, put the blog post up on the screen here, and then as you're talking to the camera, just get your ideas from the blog post in what to say. But what I do is I will put those 3 points, those 3 subtopics up on a text docket here, and I will build a video around those 3 subtopics. So in other words, if I'm going to make a 3-minute video, I will probably spend a minute on each one of those subtopics. All right? So that's how I actually create a lot of my videos, and I've done a huge amount of videos since I've been online. I've created over 900 videos now. So really, if you're going to do that amount of videos, you know, you need to have a fresh supply of information every day. Now, another thing that this is very good for is, you know, when people set you those challenges, 60-day challenges, 90-day challenges, etc., etc. Well, they're all right, but let's think about this, right? You do video 1. Let's say you do a video about internet marketing, and you take your dog out for a walk and you start talking. That's your first video, right? Day 1. Then day 2, you do another video, this time about something else, and your cat's involved. what about day 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 90? You know, you're kind of going to run out.
You're going to run out of pets.
You have to borrow other people's pets. Frank's a good one for bringing the pets into the video. I'm sure he's going to talk about that in a minute. So you get where I'm coming from, okay? One of the things that prevents a lot of people from actually making videos and creating a lot of blog posts is because they feel that they just haven't got the ideas to do it. But there's so many ideas out there, it's just unbelievable. And here's another tip for you guys, right? If you do find it difficult to do a blog post, one of the things that I used to do when I found it really hard to do blogging, what I used to do is I used to go over to someone else's blog post, right? And then what I used to do is I used to copy just the first paragraph and put it on a text docket, and underneath that paragraph I used to rewrite it in my own words. And let's say that a good blog post has 4 or 5 paragraphs in. It used to take me about 15 to 20 minutes to actually construct a 400 or 500 word blog post. So if you are struggling and you're having problems doing blog posts, whatever you do, don't give up, right? Just if you do that, what I've just told you, just find a blog post that's something similar to what you'd like to blog about, and then I'm not talking about stealing their content or anything horrible like that. I'm just talking about using each paragraph of their blog post and rewriting it in your own words, okay? That's if you struggle. Now, obviously, if you don't struggle, well, then, you know, use some of the ideas that I've given you today, because you'll never run out of ideas if you just go to those sites that I was talking about previously, and they were ezinearticles.com. There's thousands of articles on there for any subject you can think of under the sun. About 2 years ago, I set myself a challenge, and I told my list I was going to create 100 blogs. Now these are websites, right? 100 blogs in 2 months, and I had no idea what I was going to talk about. All I was going to do was I was going to create these blogs for purposes of AdSense, which is you know, Google's advertising platform. And I started to run out of ideas because, you know, I had to sort of think of all these different subjects. So what I did was I went over to Ezine Articles, And I started looking throughout all the sort of articles they had, and I just sort of come up with these ideas, and I'd find an article on e-sign articles, and believe me, I actually found articles on things like tarmac and stuff, really boring stuff that you'd never be able to talk about, really. But I'd set myself this challenge of doing all these blogs in 2 months, because 100 blogs is a lot, especially when they're all going to have, like, you know, several articles on each. So in the end, I actually ended up writing, I think it was 600 or 700 articles for these blogs. And that's really, you know, how I did it. I went on to esignarticles.com and, of course, Alltop. So those are the 4 ways that I would suggest to you guys, you know, if you do run out of ideas or you can't get started, then give that a go. All right? So, Paul, did you finish what you were going to say, or did you sort of get halfway through?
No, I kind of just started really. So.
Okay, well, do you want to carry on then? Because I missed all that.
No, so I was talking about how to generate some traffic. I mean, there's a difference between some people that just blog on related news that may be out there. So whether you're you just want to kind of blog about what's trending at the moment. So I was talking about you can use Google Trends to do that. Also looking for popular information. If you go to Alexa.com, they're telling you what websites are the most ranked websites going on at the moment. But they also tell you what's ranking, like trending as well. So you can see a list of what search terminologies are being trending as well. So that's good as well. Also, if you see what's trending as well, is use our good friend Facebook. As I was saying, is that you'd write about the topic, but you'd hashtag that about your topic in Facebook and then put a link back to your blog, because there are people that just do searches in Facebook for certain topics, and you can do the same on Twitter. And then if your like post comes up purely because you've got a hashtag in it, then there's a chance that may then link back to your blog. And the same thing when you're going in for like YouTube. YouTube is always going to be telling you about what videos are popular. So that's a good way of just kind of seeing what news is relevant at the time. You're not really kind of drilling down onto your niche or your area of expertise. You're being a bit broad there with whatever is the latest topics on the news. One of the ways, though, that I do kind of find my content, my material, and it's material for everything, whether I'm just writing a post on Facebook, whether I'm doing a Google Hangout, whether I'm trying to put something for a paid advertisement, or whether I'm trying to put together a video or a blog post, and that is purely by following leaders. When I say following leaders, is that following leaders' books, following leaders' videos, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about your own company. Okay, so here we are, we're an Empower Network, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be following the leaders within Empower Network. You can be following leaders of other large MLM companies or network marketing companies, because I guarantee you this, is there are multiple millionaires, like hundreds of millionaires within this industry in companies that probably some of us have never ever heard of, okay, and when you see these people's names you've never ever known they existed, let alone that there are people that buy their products. So there must be something else that they're doing good. And what one company in the network marketing or the MLM industry does well can also kind of reflect good on our side. So you can kind of tilt the story. So I'm always reading books, okay, of these leaders, all well-known kind of motivational books like Think and Grow Rich and so on. But watching some of the videos, as I said, about leaders and consistently listening to these audios, even when you haven't got the time to do something, or like you're busy doing something else, you can just have it playing in the background, and I guarantee you there'll be a few words that kind of pop out there that kind of lock into your head. So you've always got some sort of content to do. I mean, I'm not a really big blogger. I'm not a big blogger like yourself, Keith. I kind of aspire to you. I wish I was that good, but I'm not. But I always need content as well for my stories, and also when I'm doing my hangouts or so on. And that's purely where I kind of get my information. And a lot of people, I really do see a lot of people that kind of dismiss watching videos, or dismiss listening to audios, or dismiss reading books. But seriously, if you kind of put your mind to it and you consistently absorb that information into you, overnight you're going to see a change in you, okay? Because what's going in has an effect inside between your eyes here in this grey matter, and before you know it, you'll be saying things that you never ever thought you'd be saying before. And it really does have an impact, and it really does kind of it surprises you when it first ever happens, the material that just comes out your mouth, and you think, whoa, where did that come from? And it's all because of what you're doing on a daily basis, by reading and watching these videos, listening to audios, and so on. So that's a big thing for me, Keith, and I really recommend that if nobody's doing it now, then they definitely need to do, because if you want to be an expert in this industry, okay, you have to do what the experts are doing. If you're not doing what the experts are doing, and if you're not absorbing about this industry, if you're not absorbing information about this industry and learning every day, and there's no way you'll ever become an expert in this industry. You'll never become like one of the leaders. So treat it like a proper business and learn as much about this industry and get information from all sorts of areas, but definitely read and definitely take in audio. When I say read, I mean I've never been very good, like you've probably heard before, I've never had real kind of strong educational upbringing, so reading for me has never been a strong point. I cannot pick up a book and just scan through the pages. It's not me. I have to read like word for word throughout a book. I mean, my wife, when she picks up a book, she just like scans, the pages are just flying past. She's just scanning through it, whereas me, I'm reading word by word, and it would take me like a month to like read one book. So if you're the same as me, then pick up a book and just read through the headlines. So read the front page, read through the contents of the index, okay, and then all the chapters, and then just flick through and read every single headline that comes up on each chapter, okay, and then read the back of the book. And then by reading that, what happens is then you've got quite a good summary of what the book's going to be about, and you'll be surprised that these headlines will all of a sudden trigger a few ideas in your head, and then you've got a bit more content. And also maybe if there's a chapter in there that kind of like triggers you, say, oh, that's a good heading, I like that. Maybe just read that chapter. You don't have to start from the front of the book. I do advise that you start from the front of the book at some stage and read it through. And when you read a book, don't just put it back on the shelf. Read it again. and also possibly get an audio book as well. That's a good way of kind of becoming a sponge and really getting that information inside you. So that they are typical things that I do on a daily basis, Keith.
Yeah, thanks for that, Paul. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, what you're saying about reading, I can certainly resonate with that, because I just now cannot have a day go by where I don't read a book. It's become sort of part and parcel of my daily routine. And like you said, once you start soaking up all that information, you start to think differently, you start to talk differently. And the one thing that I've found, and I'm sure you have too, is that it gives me great ideas for my business. No, not just ideas. I don't just use books to get ideas for blogging and videos. I tend to use books as well to give me a better education about things, and by putting that into my business, it kind of has helped a huge amount. So like yourself, I actually do that, and I actually start reading first thing in the morning. But also, to anybody that's looking in on this now, where do you think you would get the most benefit by reading a few chapters of a book or watching TV? Because I mean, I used to love TV, but I had to sort of unplug it about 2 years ago, because I just really didn't want to keep watching it anymore. And if I wanted to watch a film or anything, I've got Netflix and DVDs. But I've sort of, the time that I used to spend actually watching TV now, I kind of replaced that with reading a book. And I think the more you read, the faster you get. And it's become an integral part of my day now to read. So let me just move on to Kish. Kish, what do you do to basically get ideas for blogging, making videos, etc.? Because you've done blogs and videos, haven't you?
Yeah, I look at Google Trends, as Paul mentioned before, but what I've also started recently doing is the inner circle. So there's lots of golden nuggets and strategies and ideas that people can actually start doing. So what I've started to do this week, I've been helping out a community center, so that's been my chance to listen to the inner circle. I've got them all on an iPod here. So what I do is, as I listen to the inner circles, I take notes of the main points, like rough notes, and then put them into a little blog post or a little note, and then again try to put them in an audio format as well as a video format.
Okay, excellent. I mean, that inner circle you're talking about is a product of our company, and that's got to be one of the most useful products, really, hasn't it? Because so many people, so many members of the team have found that to be useful, and like Paul was mentioning it as well, it's one of those things you can just download and listen in your car, listen anywhere, wherever you go. I mean, you can listen when you're on holiday. So yeah, I mean, that's a great idea, doing that. Lots of good ideas from there, and of course that's something which never runs out of information, because there's always new audios coming along every week, isn't there?
Yeah, and another thing that I've also found is, going back to the topic of what to blog about. As I've been going to this community center, I've met people who want to know how to use a computer, or how to fix things, or how to use Word. So that's brought up new topics for me to talk about as well, and create videos. So you don't have to go online to get your ideas. You can always go offline and talk the traditional way, talking to people.
Yeah, and I just want to throw in a quick tip there. If you actually blog about something, it's like if you take two entities, right? I'll give you an example. This is how I got someone into this business. I blogged about the Titanic in the modern way. So in other words, if you take an old strategy or something that happened in history and bring it into the present and mash it with your internet marketing business or whatever it is, you create a very, very interesting blog post. And what I did was I created a blog post called something like, is your business sinking like the Titanic? And I used the Titanic as an analogy, and I gave a little brief history about the Titanic and all what happened and how they sold the Titanic on a lie, because the Titanic was sold on the pretext that it was unsinkable, and people today try to sell things in their businesses on things that are not so. So I use that combination of things to create a strange but interesting blog post, and from that post someone actually joined my business. So by just, you know, putting yourself out there, being a bit different, being a bit quirky if you like, doing something that not everybody does, and then of course marketing the hell out of that blog post, because you know you're not going to get business from it just by blogging. You do have to get traffic to it, etc., etc. But obviously that's another hangout. But okay, what I'd like to do now is I'd like to put you over to Mike Warren. Ask Mike to come in. Mike is our, really, I would say he's sort of our resident expert on the mindset. And one of the things I love doing when we have team hangouts is bringing Mike on to talk about the mindset. So I'm very interested to know, Mike, how you actually get your content for your blogs and videos.
Okay, thanks for that, Keith. Yeah, well, content, you know, is king, guys. Content's king on the internet. You know, valuable content runs the internet, and you know, you've just got to look at. Paul mentioned Alexa.com. If you look at the top sites in the internet, you know, you've got Google at number 1, you've got Facebook, I think, at number 2, YouTube, and then Yahoo. So, you know, what does that tell us? It tells us people searching for information. You know, they're searching for entertainment. They're searching for interesting content. So, just from that itself, you can see that, you know, people are thirsty for valuable content. And the way that I mean, Keith and Kish and Paul mentioned it. You know, the way that I get content is by reading, by listening to audios. Like Keith said, I'm a big guy on personal development and mindset. And you know, what I learned from actually one of the leaders in Empower Network, Paolo Broso, which is the Rockstars. We went to one of the UK Empower Network events, and Paolo was speaking there, and he suggested to all of us at the time to start doing the 30-30-30 rule. Okay, so that's listening to an audio for 30 minutes a day, reading for 30 minutes a day, well, for 30 days or more. And I tell you, there's nothing more that can change the way you think and the way that you develop if you do that every day. And to be honest, that's the way that I get my content, from reading books and listening to audios, and like Kish said, you know, taking the golden nuggets out of the information, and then basing my content around it. And you know, we have some great training in Empower Network. There's some fantastic products, like Kish mentioned, the Inner Circle. You know, that's one of the most valuable products I think online. And you know, anyone that's thinking about joining the Empower Network, make sure you get the Inner Circle, because there's nothing more that will change your mindset. So, and remember also, you know, if you take that information, you know, you can write a blog post about it, but who's to say that you can't make a video the next day about the same information? Make an audio the next day. You know, there's lots of different ways that you can, you know, reuse that content to create more content. You know, listen to the great leaders, you know, like Napoleon Hill, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield. I mean, there's plenty of them out there. if you don't have the inner circle, you know, you can listen to, you can go onto YouTube, you know, all these guys' videos are on there. So that's really it. That's the main thing of what I do. And I heard someone say it. I forget who it was, but you know, if you're doing this, if you're listening to your audios, you're making and you're reading books and you're making notes. Those notes are uncashed checks waiting to be cashed. Okay, you're sitting on uncashed checks. So you know, if you're making notes and you're putting the art and you're putting the work in, use these notes. Okay, use these notes. People want to know what's going through your mind. People want to know this sort of information. So I'll pass it back to you, Keith.
Excellent, excellent. Some really good golden nuggets there, Mike. And you know, I've always kind of watched your videos. I find your videos very interesting, the way that you kind of switch things in the video. And what Mike tends to do is he'll do something, just for instance, like a walk in the park, and he'll actually turn that walk in the park with his dog into a lesson from Napoleon Hill. So he has a great talent for switching things and mixing things up in a video to make them look interesting, and that is really clever. So thanks, Mike. What I'd like to do now really is I'd like to go to my good friend Francisco. He's been in the team for a long time, and we've seen Frank grow from someone who perhaps was very reluctant to make videos in the early days, and he will give you all those reasons here now. But Frank, what do you actually, how do you get all your ideas for your videos?
And you know, I try to get all my ideas, you know, as Paul said before, try to follow the leader. Yeah, try to follow, you know, other people, you know, they really have been doing very well. So I just try to follow them. And then what I do is, you know, I use Google, I use YouTube, books, I read, you know, I read audios too. So I do that every single day. And sometimes I go ideas, you know, from there. And sometimes, you know, on the videos, as you say, you know, I try to bring, you know, my dog into, you know, into the video because people like dogs. And then I try to bring a very nice background because people, you know, they like the background. You know, maybe sometimes I try to make the video where I am on the beach or on nice restaurant all the time, you know, in a nice place. And sometimes I used to like offline. Sometimes maybe I talking to someone and I think that conversation is quite good. So then I bring that conversation into the video. And I can see a lot of people like, you know, like that. Like, I don't know, you remember once I did one at the gym. I met this this person, this old man, you know, all the time when he was talking to people, you know, people didn't want to talk to him. And he came to me and he said to me, Fran, why people doesn't talk to me? I said, listen, because you are a bit negative. And all the time you're just telling these kind of people, yeah, you got problem on your shoulder, you got problem on your back. People really, they don't care about it. And then maybe they're happy it's you, it's not them. So, you know, so then I put that into a video, and that video did very, you know, very well. So that is the way I, you know, I go my contents. And, you know, it's getting better and better and better. And, you know, me say, read 30 minutes and listen to audios 30 minutes or listen, you know, or listen to a video, a positive video really, really help a lot. Okay.
Excellent, excellent, Frank. And I don't know if anyone spotted it there, but Frank actually dropped a real gold nugget there. And listen, guys, this is something that probably people don't tell you this, right? But whatever's in the background of a video is extremely, extremely important. And I'll tell you how we actually cashed in on this. We got a video on page 1 of Google for a specific keyword. I'm not going to tell you what that keyword is, but the actual reason why the person joined our business is because that video, which was one featuring Frank, was showing right in front of a Christmas tree, and the picture looked absolutely superb. Now, for that specific keyword on page 1 of Google, all the other videos looked boring, right? They looked boring, but this one looked really good. So that's what drew that person's attention like a laser beam into the picture, and that's what he told us. You know, he went on to that specific keyword, page 1, Google, bang, straight away. He saw that video because of that background that drew him to it. So there's a tip that you don't hear anywhere else, and that comes from Francisco. So well done, Frank.
Yeah, no work. And even, you know, I don't know if you see a video, you know, I am in Spain by the swimming pool. And I do remember when I put that video into the internet, I got 100 octings.
Yeah.
Just because I was on the swimming pool.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy, you know, because people say, I want that. Yes, I want to do that. It's crazy. It is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're sitting there making a video and you're just kind of, you know, really struggling with it, you know, obviously you're gonna be like that at the beginning. You're gonna be like that at first. You know, you can't expect to come into making videos and just pick it up straight away. So, but as you get going, you just keep going, and that's all I did. You know, from the very early days when I started making videos, I was on Paul's Hangout last week, and he was asking me about things that I've overcome since I've been online, and that was one of them. Because, you know, I was absolute rubbish at videos, and I just carried on, continued, because you don't want to give up. There's no point, because you give up on this, you'll be doing something else. So you might as well just keep going until you do it, right?
Right.
Okay, so let me go on to Dave. Good friend of mine, Dave Braithwaite, lives in the same area as me and has been with the team for a long time. So, Dave, how do you actually find your content for your videos and blogs?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, I could cover everything that everyone else has covered this evening, which is the vast majority of everything, which everyone's, you know, videos, you know, reading, audios, etc., and so on. But what I'll say is, what you've learned by being online or getting involved in, say, a business like what we're involved in, which is based on online education. So as you progress through the system, if you like, you learn skills and techniques. So therefore that gives you the information in your head, as Paul was saying, to actually produce some content yourself, because once it goes in, you can then bring it out in your own words. You haven't got to go and find somebody else's content and then copy it virtually. So that's one way, and the other way, which I think no one's really hit upon tonight, is what we're doing now, which is masterminding, getting together with like-minded people that have got the same interest in you, that want to get to the same goal as you, and prepared to work together in a team, share ideas, and have a good conversation. And eventually, you know, by doing that, the ideas will come naturally. It'll just come out of the ether, as Napoleon Hill said once. So, yeah, that's a couple of things that I do, apart from other things.
Excellent, Dave. Also, another nugget dropped there by the fact of do hangouts and cover subjects like what we're covering tonight, how to get ideas for blog posts and videos, and make a video from that. So there's an idea to kick everybody off straight away if you're stuck for doing a video or a blog post.
Exactly. Join a group like this.
Join a group like this, and you can join a team like this simply by clicking the button down below. Okay, let's move on. Last but not least is Bill. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Keith. Hi, everybody. Yeah, well, everything's been covered almost. Here's my uncashed checks, which I've been writing down. And like Keith, Mike was saying there, yeah, there's a lot of really good points being covered by everybody here, and right, I've just got some pointers here because everybody's covered quite a lot. So some of the ideas where I've been getting my recent blog posts from, it's things that's actually been happening right now in the industry that we're in. There's been a lot of goings on, so a lot of new products being released, and a lot of new systems just started and coming up and coming systems, and like I say, new products and new funnels. So that's a lot of content to write about as well. So a lot of news that's happening within the industry that you're involved in, you can write a lot of blog posts about, and that's quite exciting. You can create a lot of buzz. And that's what you maybe want to do with your blog posts, and of course syndicating them out to Facebook and stuff like that as well, to create buzz for the things that's happening within your industry. And a few other things here that have been touched upon already. And I've got some headers here like industry updates, law of attraction. Another idea for blog posts and videos is maybe shoot videos just about you and out and about enjoying yourself and just doing social stuff with you, your family and your friends, because that's people love seeing that kind of thing. And like Frank, when he does his pictures and his videos, they're always in a beautiful background, or he's sitting in a restaurant with a beautiful meal in front of him, or he's there in a cafe with his wee dog, you know, and that's his office for the day, in a cafe with his dog beside him, and people love seeing that. So I mean, that's you can shoot little videos and take pictures like that. That's excellent content. And another idea for content is just to give little short tips, maybe 1, 2, 3 minute videos, just little golden nugget tips that you've maybe come across or heard about, and like I say, and if you listen to all those reading books, you know, you'll get an idea. Oh, that's a great tip for like a short video or even a short blog post with a video to go with it. So some short tips, golden nuggets. Another idea is for a video or blog post with a video. Again, it's like maybe like a screencast. If you want to do some how-to videos and how to do some certain things, you know, you can maybe record your screen and put them up as videos as well. And if you're looking for ideas for blog posts to get traffic to your blog, you've got your Google keyword research tool. Now, whatever the subject of your blog is, you can go to the Google Keywords Research tool, which is in the AdSense section or the AdWords section. You need a Google account for that. And then you can just write your keyword in, your main keyword in, and you'll get a list of all the other related keywords to do with the subject of your blog. And then that's all your headings. You can create tons of content just by looking at all the headings or the suggestions there, and use that as headings. And again, this has been touched on. Just watch other people's videos, like leaders and inspirational talkers, and maybe take 3 points or something out of some of their videos and create little short videos yourself, or do some short blog posts on each of the points that you've jotted down from watching other people's videos. And perhaps maybe like write down some tips just like that I've been writing down from you guys, and then maybe shoot a video on that, or write a blog post on exactly what we've been doing right now. It's endless. It's endless when you think about it. So that's me. That's what I've been doing to get my blog posts. Recently it's just been industry updates, what's happening now, and what's about to happen in the future, and that's what I've been writing about just now.
Excellent, excellent. And obviously, I think as Bill alluded to there, you know, you can basically do product reviews, which is something I do quite a fair bit of. You know, I'm always happy to look for products which are going to be useful for the team. And what I will do is I'll actually blog about them. So I'll do a review, and then I'll do a video on that particular product, show it working, etc. And I found that to be very profitable. And also something else which I don't think anyone's mentioned this yet, but when you've created a blog post or a video, put it in your emails to your list, because that way you're providing some wonderful content to the people on your list, because you know they're not just there to be sending sales links to. You want to form a relationship with your list, and a great way to do that is, of course, you know, if you're going to put a blog post in an email, you don't put the entire blog post in the email. What you do is you just put some text at the beginning, some teaser copy if you like, with a link to your blog. So that will get you extra traffic back to your blog. which is a good way of getting traffic, and also it keeps your list happy. And if your list are happy, then hopefully they will end up buying from you in the long run.
Yeah,
So,
if I may, Keith. Sorry,
yeah,
if I
sure.
may, Keith, that was another thing that was on my list there, is to actually write some content to give to your list as well. I sent an email out today, and as I was writing it, I thought, you know what, I should actually just write this as a blog post and send a link to this, link to the post to my list. So yeah, that's a great idea. Great idea. I was thinking of that myself just today.
Yeah, I mean, if you give your list good content, they'll reward you in the long run. They'll stick around, and also they'll stick around and hopefully buy from you or join your business. And you do that by, instead of just sending them links all the time to products, which is a great way to get people off your list. What you do is you just send them some teaser copy to a blog post, or just send them a nice video, or send them an invite to a hangout. I've invited my list here tonight, and what we're doing for that list would be giving them an hour's free, free content, really. Okay, so we're nearly coming up to the hour. Wow, that has just absolutely flown by. And has anybody got anything they would like to say before we just close?
Yeah, I was just going to add one thing. We've all come up with really valuable ideas here, some amazing little golden nuggets. But what I see a lot of people sometimes do is, because they see other people have written about a subject, have done a video about a topic or whatever, they think, oh, that person's done that, so it can't be done again. And there could be nothing further from the truth than that, really. Just because you see someone do it, it doesn't stop you doing it in your own words, because that person has probably gone and got that idea from someone else. You just haven't seen it. Okay, so typically things that we see in the press and everything all come from other ideas, or all come from people that have done it before. The press just write it in a different way. And when you see all the leaders doing their stuff, even when it comes to the content sometimes that they're speaking about on stage and so on, what's happened is that content has come from other sources. Okay, all they've done is formatted it into their own words. Okay, formatted it and framed it into their own style. Never be afraid about using other people's content because you think that idea has been touched before, because it would really damage you, basically, and how well you're going on there. It's a good thing to do.
Absolutely, Paul. Thanks for that. Yeah, fantastic. Guys, it's been a fabulous hangout tonight. We've shared some of the most amazing content, and it's real usable content. Not just any old thing. It's things that people can use, practical content, which will get people started and also get people going. So I'd like to thank Paul Ingram, Kish Carson, Mike Warren, Francisco Linares, David Braithwaite, and Bill Thompson. And I wish you all good night. We'll see you next week. Don't forget, if you want to join the team, click that link below.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Bye. Everyone. Cheers.
Bye-bye.